The Arcturian Group Message, September 14, 2014. Greetings, dear ones. Once again we come to offer encouragement and information to assist you on your journey toward enlightenment, the realization that you are so much more than you have been led to believe. You are divine beings created in and of the spiritual substance of Source Consciousness, and as such, are capable of manifesting the wholeness and completeness of this divine consciousness. The third-dimensional consciousness does not allow one to remember who they are, since it functions from the level of duality and separation. Man has thus manifested for himself lifetimes of struggle and pain with a seeking outwardly in the belief that he was separate from his God. Oneness is the profound secret of life, a secret that many as of yet are totally unaware of, but that many are now awakening to. Where better to hide the sacred key than within? For only a spiritual adept would think to seek it in the last place the third-dimensional consciousness would believe it to be. Even many of those who still grasp tightly to old and finished concepts are gradually coming to understand through personal strife, discouragement, or even great accomplishment, that the outer trappings of success do not bring that inner sense of completeness they seek. Some who have actually achieved success in the third-dimensional sense, discover that there remains still an inner longing for something, and in ignorance seek it through the use of drugs, alcohol, sex, and attention-getting actions. However, there are now on earth successful and famous people evolved enough to see through the hypnotism and illusions of questing for happiness in the outer, and who purposely incarnated to serve as examples and teachers for those who admire and seek to emulate the famous. To seek within at first seems to be a daunting task, foreign and difficult simply because the world has not been taught to seek within. Mankind has instead been taught and so has lived out from the belief that the brain and intellect is where all answers lie. Lifetime after lifetime through ignorance, seekers of truth, knowledge, solutions, and even just guidance have looked for the answers and information in the outer scene, to experts, religious leaders, governments, etc. Mind is an avenue of awareness, translating and manifesting from your attained state of consciousness. The mind can only access what is already known personally or is floating around in the world's consensus consciousness, and therefore in order for an idea to be new, it must flow from deeper levels. True artists are aware of this and often attune to their deeper levels within, not realizing this to be a spiritual activity. The use of drugs or alcohol is prevalent in the lives of many creative people because they believe these things are necessary in order to access this deeper creativity. The fact is that they could easily access those already present deeper and more creative levels through meditation and inner spiritual growth, while avoiding substances that only serve to open one to negative energetic situations. How exactly does one get answers from within? The whole idea discourages many sincere seekers because at first it seems impractical and impossible. It is not like a radio that you can just plug in, although with time it can become somewhat similar. The process begins with trust and meditation. The discipline of quieting of oneself enough to hear the still small voice, moving beyond the busy, plodding, planning human mind must be practiced. Preparation could be reading a spiritual book, pondering at truth, or a quiet walk observing nature, being alone with activities that quiet the mind. No cell phones or partners on your nature walks. Become an observer, but not resisting thoughts that may float through. Most of you already hear the still small voice as intuition but have not realized what it was. Intuition is how it works for many in the beginning, but as you begin to go deeper in spiritual enlightenment, sacred knowledge and information will be received, questions answered, and you will begin to be taught from within. There are individuals who call themselves psychics and do indeed have the ability to pick up energies and hear information. However, if their consciousness is still fully enmeshed in the third-dimensional belief system, this psychic ability will not make them spiritual teachers, nor will it make their predictions come true. Predictions are based on the energy of the moment, which is constantly changing. Psychic information coming through a third-dimensional state of consciousness will reflect that information can rise no higher than the channel, author, or teacher's state of consciousness. We tell you this so that you start to use discernment when seeking someone for a reading, spiritual class, or when embarking on a particular path offering enlightenment. Many spiritually pure teachers of the past taught their students to avoid psychics and anything metaphysical because at a time when most of the world was living fully in the energies of duality and separation, there were those who found that being psychic was an easy way to trick the vulnerable and earn a good living while doing it. There remain a few who work on that level, but most now are coming from a deeper place. Your own state of consciousness will guide you to someone of like or higher consciousness. When you state your intention to find a teacher or light worker of a high resonance, you will be guided from within. Learn to trust your intuition. Intuition will guide you regarding the state of consciousness of a teacher, healer, author, or psychic. You will begin to trust when you resonate or not with some book, ads for classes, or someone's energy. Those days of blindly following someone just because they said you should, are finished for most of you. Most of you are now beginning to realize that you no longer need the outer tools because you get what you need from within. The energy of a consciousness less than your own cannot lift you higher, and may in fact lower you to theirs. This is the taking back of your power. Understand, this does not mean you must give up the occasional energy session, classes you may be guided to, or readings from spiritually evolved light workers when you need them. Let the still small voice guide you. There are many spiritually evolved individuals on earth at this time adding their light to the world's transition through their work of assisting others in these ways. Practice discernment. Learning to go within before making any major decisions means that you can finally stop running from one human solution to another with no awareness as to how they may be resonating with your energy. Ask your guides to help you. Ask questions and write down those things you sense, but don't expect a loud voice telling you what to do and saying, "I can't do it," when you don't hear one, because guides are with you to assist you with your decisions, not to tell you what to do. The inner voice does not speak in words, it is information, translated into words by your mind. The information may manifest through some ordinary experience that provides the answer you seek. Information flows from inner seeking and receptivity and manifests in forms you can easily relate to. Divine consciousness is self-sustained and self-maintained and is your very core. The realization, not intellectual knowledge of this, is the key that opens the door, allowing divine ideas to manifest in, through, and as you. Remember, mind translates spiritual realities, completeness, wholeness, abundance, through your attained state of consciousness, which differs for every individual. Comparing your experiences to another's can limit you, because spiritual fruitage is never limited to a certain form. Do not despair if you make a mistake. If you think you heard your inner guidance, acted upon it and then discovered it to be a mistake, know that there are no mistakes, only learning experiences. You are learning to discern the still small voice from the ego voice and will find that there is a quiet and gentle sense of knowing with the inner voice that is not present with solutions based solely on intellectual knowledge. Trust your intuition always. Keep your energy field filled with light, stay centered in truth, state your intention to always be guided by the still, small voice and you will be. This is how you live from the within to the without, and not the reverse. Knowing that which you seek, you are. We are the Arcturian group. Channeled by Marilyn Raphael. www.onenessofall.com